Hi, in this BIM tool tutorial for beginners, I'll show you how you can have total design freedom with Plusspec. Plusspec utilizes the SketchUp environment, and SketchUp is the world's #1 freeform 3D modeling software. If there is something that we don't generate for you, you can easily create it using SketchUp. In fact, you can create objects with incredible complexity very easily. No other software allows you to do this. And although Plusspec will generate the majority of the structure and other elements for you, there's always going to be certain things that you want to include in your project. For example, in this 3D detail, we have used SketchUp to model the top hat and the screws because we needed to know how they were going to be joined. Once you know what you're doing with SketchUp, creating an object like this is very easy. The problem is there's no information, and that's the essence of BIM. So an object that you create using SketchUp only doesn't have that intelligence behind it. However, using the Plusspec BIM tool, you can turn these objects into intelligent BIM objects. And I've already BIMmed this object. So I modeled it in SketchUp, and then I used our BIM tool, and in that I was able to assign it to a layer, give it a name and definition, and as you'll see shortly, you can also put other notes as well as purchase information. When you BIM an object, it also means that Plusspec can capture it in the bill of quantities, so that you know, for example, if you've got 50 of these screws, it will automatically understand that you have 50 of them. Therefore, they've been quantified. After you freeform an object, make sure that you BIM it straight away, and then what you can do is then just make duplicates or copies, and therefore every copy you make will be added to your bill of quantity in your Takeoff. So let's take a look how you do it. Imagine that I've just drawn this top hat. At the moment, it's just an object. Plusspec doesn't recognize it, it's not being picked up in the Takeoff, and there's no information that's been assigned to it. Just left click on it and then left click on the BIM tool followed by the BIM icon. In this dialog, you can assign it a name, a brand, an item code, as well as a layer, and the layer is very important. And I've created a manual layer so I can pick it up easily. You could also put in store price, purchase information, and other notes if you know them. But when you're happy, just press submit. Now let's BIM this screw by doing the same process. Once you've filled out the information that you want and assigned it to a layer, just press submit. Plusspec will now recognize these items and quantify them, and they also become parametric in the sense that you can right click them and go into the component options, and you can add or change the information therein. So if you want to add the purchase price or the install price, you can do so, and then you just press apply. Let's do a Takeoff. As you can see, the Takeoff has picked up the layers, and it's picked up the objects and the amount of objects in that layer. So for example, I only have one top hat there, and the quantity has been held there. It also has its name, and obviously if I'd put in the purchase price and install price, that would be picked up. This is the same for the screws. So it's picked up how many screws I have in my project as well as the name. And obviously if I have multiple screws, as I did in that particular detail, they would all be picked up.